Welcome everyone. Today's video is not just about learning English. It's about changing the way your mind works. Most people learn English the wrong way. They memorize grammar rules again and again. They study long lists of words they never use. They watch hundreds of English videos every month. They spend years saying, "I'm learning English." But when it's time to speak, they freeze. They know the words. They understand the sentences. They can read and listen very well. But when someone asks them a simple question, their mind goes blank and their mouth doesn't move. Why does this happen? Because English is still outside their mind. They are still thinking in their native language. They are still translating every sentence word by word. They are still trying to be perfect before speaking. They are still afraid of making mistakes, afraid of sounding stupid, afraid of being judged. And this fear silently blocks their voice. Let me tell you something important. This is not because you are lazy. It is not because you are not smart. It is not because your English is bad. This is not an English problem. This is a mindset problem. Your mind was never trained to think in English. It was trained only to study English. And studying is not the same as living in a language. English feels heavy. English feels slow. English feels stressful. Because your brain treats English like a stranger. And today, that changes. Today, we stop learning English like a subject. Today, we start building an English mindset. A mindset where English feels natural. A mindset where English feels safe. A mindset where English becomes part of who you are. By the end of this lesson, you will understand why you feel stuck, and more importantly, you will know how to move forward. So relax. Stop judging yourself. You are in the right place. And now, let's begin fixing the real problem. Not your English, but the way your mind sees English. Let me say this clearly and remember it for life. You will never speak fluent English until your mind becomes English. Fluency does not start in your mouth. It does not come from your tongue or your accent. Fluency starts in your brain. Your brain is a habit machine. From the day you were born, it was trained in your first language. It learned the sounds. It learned sentence patterns. It learned emotions and reactions. Your brain knows exactly how to think, feel, and respond in your native language. That system is fast, automatic, and comfortable. Now think about English. English feels slow. English feels heavy. English feels unnatural. Why? Because your brain treats English like a guest, not like home. It does not fully trust it. So every time you try to speak, your brain stops you and says, "Wait, translate first." And in that small pause, fluency dies. You start thinking too much. You doubt your words. You lose confidence. Your voice becomes weak. This is why many learners know a lot of English but still cannot speak freely. The biggest block to English fluency is not lack of vocabulary. It is not grammar mistakes. It is not pronunciation. The biggest block is a mind that doesn't trust English. Until your brain accepts English as a normal way to think, your speech will always feel forced. But the good news is this: your brain can be trained again, habits can change, and English can become natural. Once your mind changes, your fluency will follow. Section 1. Why you feel stuck with English. Many people believe they are bad at English. They think they don't have talent. They think they started too late. They think English is only for intelligent people. But none of this is true. The real problem is not your intelligence. It is not your effort. It is not your memory. The real problem is how your mind was trained. Most learners study English like a school subject. They memorize grammar rules. They learn long word lists. They watch lesson after lesson. They understand English very well on paper. But when it's time to speak, they freeze. They can read English. They can listen to English. They can even explain grammar rules. But when they open their mouth, nothing comes out. This creates frustration. You start asking yourself, why can't I speak even though I know English? Why does my mind go blank? Why do I feel nervous and slow? This happens because English is still outside your mind. Your brain is still thinking in your native language. Every sentence you want to say must first be translated. Your brain checks grammar, searches for words, and worries about mistakes at the same time. By the time your brain is ready, the moment is gone. This delay kills confidence, so you start avoiding speaking. You stay silent in conversations. You listen more and talk less. Slowly, fear becomes your habit, but listen carefully. This does not mean you are bad at English. It means your brain was never trained to think in English. Your brain learned English as information, not as a habit. It knows the rules, but it doesn't trust the language. English feels forced, slow, and unnatural. Think about your first language. You never translate. You never think about grammar. Words come automatically. That's because your brain lived in that language for years. English feels difficult because your brain treats it like a visitor, not like a part of who you are. And here is the most important truth of this section. Fluency is not about learning more English. Fluency is about changing how your mind uses English. When your mind changes, everything changes. Speaking becomes easier. Listening becomes clearer. Confidence grows naturally. From this point forward, we stop blaming ourselves. We stop learning English the old way. We start building an English mindset. Because when your mind accepts English, your voice will finally follow. Section 2. The real truth about fluency. Let this truth be clear in your mind. You will never speak fluent English until your mind becomes English. Fluency does not begin in your mouth. It does not come from your accent or speed. Fluency starts inside your brain. Your brain is a habit machine. From the day you were born, it was trained in your first language. It learned sounds. It learned sentence patterns. It learned emotions, reactions, and rhythm. Your native language lives deep inside your brain. It works automatically. You don't think before speaking. You don't translate. Words simply appear. English is different. English feels slow. English feels heavy. English feels uncomfortable. Not because English is hard, but because your brain treats English like a guest, not like home. So every time you try to speak, your brain stops you and says, "Wait, translate first." That small pause changes everything. In that pause, confidence disappears. In that pause, fear enters. In that pause, your voice becomes weak. You begin to think too much. You search for the perfect word. You worry about grammar. You worry about mistakes. And while you are thinking, the conversation moves on. This is why many learners understand English very well but cannot speak fluently. They know vocabulary, they know grammar, but their brain does not trust English yet. The biggest block to fluency is not lack of words. It is not pronunciation. It is not intelligence. The biggest block is a mind that doesn't accept English as a natural way to think. Your brain sees English as something separate, something you use sometimes, not something you are. That is why speaking feels forced. That is why listening feels stressful. That is why English feels like work. But here is the good news. Your brain can change. Habits can be rebuilt. New pathways can be formed. English can become familiar, comfortable, and automatic. The brain does not care about age. It cares about repetition. It cares about use. It cares about emotion. When you start using English every day, not just studying it, your brain slowly stops resisting. It begins to relax. It begins to recognize patterns. It begins to trust the language. And when your brain trusts English, fluency starts to appear naturally. You stop translating. You stop overthinking. You start responding. This is the real truth about fluency. Fluency is not about learning more rules. Fluency is about changing how your brain treats English. Once your mind changes, your English changes with it. Section 3. Stop translating and start thinking in English. If you want to build an English mindset, this step is essential. You must stop translating and start thinking directly in English. Translation is the silent enemy of fluency. Every time you translate in your head, your brain does extra work. It listens in English. It changes the meaning into your native language. Then it tries to rebuild the sentence in English again. This process is slow and exhausting. That is why speaking feels stressful. That is why your mind feels tired. That is why you lose confidence while talking. Native speakers do not translate. They think, feel, and react directly in English. And you must train your brain to do the same. Let's understand how translation begins. When you hear a word like apple, most learners first think of the word in their own language. Only after that do they understand the meaning. This habit keeps English outside your mind. Your brain should see an apple, not a translated word. Your brain thinks in pictures, actions, and emotions, not in dictionaries. So the first rule is simple. Connect English to images, not to your native language. When you learn a new word, don't write its meaning in your language. Instead, imagine it. See it. Feel it. If the word is run, imagine someone running. If the word is angry, imagine a face full of anger. If the word is tired, feel that heavy feeling in your body. This creates direct connection. Now let's talk about sentences. When you hear "I'm late," don't translate it. Imagine someone running, looking at their watch, feeling stressed. That picture teaches your brain faster than translation ever will. Another powerful method is to describe what you see. Look around you right now. Describe it in English in your mind. There is a chair. The light is on. I am sitting and reading. These simple sentences train your brain to think in English naturally. At first, your thoughts will be slow. That is normal. Do not rush. Do not judge yourself. Speed comes after habit. The more you think in English, the less your brain wants to translate. Over time, something important happens. Your brain stops asking, "What is this in my language?" Instead, it asks, "How do I say this in English?" That shift is powerful. That is the moment English starts moving inside your mind. You begin to understand English without effort. You begin to respond without fear. You begin to feel connected to the language. Remember this truth. You do not need perfect English to think in English. You need simple English used every day. Stop translating. Start seeing. Start feeling. Start thinking. This is how an English mindset is born. Section 4. Repetition builds the English brain. Most English learners believe one dangerous lie. They think understanding once is enough. It is not. Your brain does not change through information. Your brain changes through repetition. Think about how you learned your first language. No one explained grammar rules to you. No one asked you to memorize long word lists. You heard the same words again and again. You heard the same sentences every day. Your brain repeated patterns until they became automatic. English must be learned the same way. Many learners watch a video once and move on. They read a lesson once and feel satisfied. But after 1 week, everything disappears. Why? Because the brain deletes what it does not repeat. Repetition tells your brain, this is important, keep it. Without repetition, English stays in short-term memory. With repetition, English moves into long-term habit. Fluency is not built by learning many new things. Fluency is built by repeating simple things deeply. One simple sentence repeated many times is more powerful than 100 complex sentences used once. When you repeat English, something special happens. Your brain stops thinking about grammar. Your brain starts recognizing patterns. You no longer think, which tense is this? You simply feel that it sounds right. That feeling is fluency. Repetition also builds confidence. The first time you say a sentence, it feels weak. The second time, it feels uncomfortable. The 10th time, it feels normal. The 100th time, it feels natural. Confidence is not courage. Confidence is familiarity. The more familiar a sentence becomes, the less fear you feel. This is why daily repetition is more important than long study hours. 10 minutes every day is better than 2 hours once a week. Short, simple, daily. Repeat words out loud. Repeat sentences while walking. Repeat phrases while doing daily tasks. Talk to yourself in English. Describe what you are doing. Describe what you are thinking. Describe what you are feeling. Do not worry about mistakes. Mistakes disappear with repetition. Your job is not to be perfect. Your job is to be consistent. Every repetition strengthens the English pathway in your brain. Every day, English becomes less foreign. Every day, English feels more like home. Remember this rule. Repetition creates habit. Habit creates fluency. And fluency creates freedom. Section 5. Speak before you feel ready. Most English learners are waiting. They are waiting to feel ready. They are waiting to feel confident. They are waiting to feel perfect. That day never comes. Read this carefully. Confidence does not come before speaking. Confidence comes because of speaking. If you wait until you feel ready, you will wait forever. Every fluent speaker you admire once spoke broken English. They made mistakes. They forgot words. They felt embarrassed. But they spoke anyway. Speaking is not the result of fluency. Speaking is the cause of fluency. Your brain learns fastest when it is under real pressure, not book pressure, real speaking pressure. When you speak, your brain is forced to think quickly. It searches for words. It builds sentences. It makes decisions. This is how the English brain grows. Silence keeps English weak. Speaking makes English strong. Many learners practice only in their head. They understand English well. But their mouth is not trained. Your mouth is a muscle, and muscles grow only through use. At first, your speech will be slow. Your sentences will be short. Your grammar will be imperfect. This is normal. This is necessary. Children do not wait to speak perfectly. They speak first. Correction comes later. You must adopt the same mindset. Say what you know, not what you wish you knew. Simple English is powerful English. I think so. I don't understand. Can you repeat? I need time. These simple sentences create real communication. Every time you speak, fear loses power. Every time you speak, confidence grows. Do not hide from conversations. Do not avoid speaking opportunities. Create them. Speak to yourself. Speak to your phone. Speak to strangers online. Speak even when your voice shakes. Fear disappears only when it is faced. You do not need perfect grammar to be respected. You need clarity and courage. Mistakes are not failures. They are feedback. Each mistake shows your brain what to improve next. Remember this truth. Fluent speakers are not fearless. They are trained, and training happens only through speaking. Speak before you feel ready. Speak while you feel afraid. Speak until fear becomes familiar. This is how fluency is born. Section 6. Bring English into your daily life. English does not grow in books. English grows in life. Many learners study English only during study time. They open a book, they watch a lesson, then they close it and return to their normal life. This creates a problem. Your brain learns English as a subject, not as a living language. Fluent speakers do not separate English from life. English is part of how they think, feel, and act. If you want real fluency, English must enter your daily routine. Start with small moments. When you wake up, think in English. Today is a new day. I feel tired. I need coffee. When you walk, describe what you see. The sky is clear. There are many people. This place is noisy. When you eat, think in English. This tastes good. I am hungry. I like this food. These simple thoughts are powerful. They train your brain to use English naturally without pressure. Next, change your input. Listen to English every day, not sometimes, every day. It does not need to be difficult. Simple English is enough. Listen while walking, listen while cleaning, listen while resting. Your brain learns through exposure. The more English it hears, the more normal English becomes. Then speak during daily tasks. Talk to yourself in English. Explain what you are doing. Explain your plans. Explain your problems. This is not strange. This is training. Athletes train their bodies. You are training your brain. Another important step is emotional connection. Do not learn English only for exams. Use English to express feelings. I am happy. I feel nervous. I am proud of myself. When English carries emotion, your brain remembers it deeply. Also, accept imperfection. Your daily English will not be perfect. That is good. Perfection kills practice. Consistency builds fluency. Some days you will forget words. Some days you will feel slow. Do not stop. English grows quietly, like a habit forming in the background. One day, you will notice something surprising. You will react in English without trying. You will understand without translating. You will speak without fear. That is the result of daily life English. Remember this rule. If English exists only in lessons, it will disappear. If English lives in your daily life, it will stay with you forever. Section 7. Making English part of who you are. Fluency is more than words. It is more than grammar. It is more than vocabulary lists. Fluency is identity. It is becoming someone who thinks, feels, and acts in English. Many learners study English for years, but when it comes to speaking, they hesitate. They feel like a visitor in their own language. This is because they have not claimed English as part of themselves. To truly become fluent, you must create your English identity. This is a mindset shift. This is the bridge between knowing English and living English. Step 1. Decide who you are in English. Ask yourself, who do I want to be when I speak English? Confident, calm, clear, fun, persuasive, polite, professional? Choose the version of yourself that inspires you. This becomes your English persona. Step 2. Practice being that person. Every time you speak English, step into that identity. Imagine it fully. Feel it in your voice. Feel it in your posture. Feel it in your mind. Your brain starts linking English to strength, courage, and clarity. Mistakes do not scare you. Difficulty does not stop you. You start to believe, this is who I am. This is my language. Step 3. Live in English emotionally, not just linguistically. Use English for thoughts, feelings, and dreams. Speak to yourself about your plans, your goals, your emotions. Write your feelings in English. Think about what you want to achieve and do it in English. When English carries meaning, when it carries emotion, your brain does not forget. It recognizes English as part of your life. It becomes automatic. It becomes natural. Step 4. Surround yourself with English. Your phone, your apps, your music, your podcasts, your notes, even your room. Let English live everywhere. Label objects in English. Watch English videos for life, not for study. Read small passages in English every day. Step 5. Commit to your identity. This is not a one-day change. It is a lifelong process. Every time you speak, every time you think in English, you strengthen it. Every mistake, every hesitation, every small victory shapes who you are becoming. Remember, fluency is not about perfection. It is about showing up. It is about choosing English as part of your life. The more you embrace this identity, the faster your brain adapts. The faster your voice becomes confident. The faster your thoughts flow freely in English. When you merge English with your identity, something magical happens. You do not just speak English. You live English. You think in English naturally. You respond without fear. You express your ideas clearly. You grow as a person while you grow in language. This is the ultimate goal. Not memorizing words, not understanding grammar perfectly, not passing exams. The goal is to become someone who is fluent in English from the inside out. Someone who carries English in their mind, their heart, and their voice. So start now. Decide who you are in English. Step into that identity. Speak every day, even imperfectly. Think in English. Feel in English. Live in English. When you do this, fluency is no longer a dream. It becomes your life. Your mind, your mouth, your heart. They all speak the same language. You have created your English mindset, and once your mind is English, nothing can stop your fluency. If you've struggled with English for years, hear this. You are not broken. You are not slow. You are not too late. Your brain can change. Your habits can change. Your mindset can change. And your English can change too. Fluency is not about talent. It is about decision. One small step at a time. One brave sentence at a time. One daily habit at a time. Every time you speak, every time you think in English, you are training your brain. Every mistake is not failure. It is a lesson. Every repetition builds strength. Every effort rewires your mind. Create your English mindset. Live it in your thoughts. Live it in your words. Live it in your daily life. When you do this, English stops feeling foreign. It becomes familiar. It becomes part of you. It becomes home. Your confidence grows quietly. Your brain starts thinking in English naturally. Your voice becomes clear. Your fluency begins from the inside out. This is not magic. This is commitment. This is mindset. This is transformation. If you want more guidance, more motivation, and real strategies, subscribe to Voice of English. This is not just a channel. It is a place where your mind grows stronger, your confidence builds, and your English becomes part of who you are. Keep going. Your English mind is already waking up, and today is the day it starts speaking freely.